All right, now we should be live.
I see it.
You see it? Yay!
I see
Oh my
it.
God.
So now we need to check LinkedIn.
So yeah,
I don't see it yet, but I'm sure it'll pop up shortly.
I'm sure it'll pop up in there. Yeah. So hey guys, we are hopefully live on LinkedIn now. I'm trying to double check my LinkedIn page, but yeah, this is Framed Perspectives. I'm your host, Douglas Burns, and we're trying new technology today, and we've been having technology issues. So hopefully you're seeing this. We're live out here. Yep, I see it live on the thing. So yay.
Yeah. We are live.
This is taking us a minute to get on here. This is taking some time. It's taking some figuring out. So I appreciate your patience, and if you're still out there, we're glad to have you. If you're just joining us, we're thrilled to have you. So this is fantastic. This is brand new for us on doing this with trying to go live with video this time. So this is what's so interesting, so much fun, is trying to do this with video. So welcome.
Mm-hmm.
And if stuff happens, I apologize. It's new technology. But this is the way the world is going. It's going live video. Joining me today, we've got Venessa and Jada, co-founders of Houston Apparel Company. Welcome, guys. So thrilled to have you on, and thank you for your patience and being my guinea pigs on this. So we're going to hopefully get all of this working and play with all this. So we're going to give you guys a quick little bit of love. There's Houston Apparel Company's information. We'll be sure to play this several times over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour as we chatting. So be sure to check them out. They've got a lot of fun and unique stuff. They're all about promotional products for you to help brand your company. And we're going to get into that. We're going to dive into that. But first of all, hey guys, Venessa and Jada, give me a little, let's start with background. Where did you come from? How did you get from, you both came from the corporate world. So talk to me about where y'all started in corporate and what brought you to where you are now.
Okay, I can start. So I come from private school communications and marketing. And before that, it was more in the government sector. So I've done federal government communications and private education communications. And during that time, I was involved with marketing and swag and apparel and all of the different promotional materials. So I've always been on the user end of those kinds of things. And so I kind of knew how it worked and really enjoyed that part of my job. And then decided that it was time to change and do something different. And during all of that time, I had a small online boutique where I sold like women's fashion clothing and t-shirts, blouses here and there, tumblers, accessories. And then during that as well, I would see, you join Facebook groups, you try to meet people and promote and stuff. And I would see Jada's name pop up a lot. And I was like, who is this Jada Powell? She keeps popping up in these same feeds that I am. And then I learned that she lived in my neighborhood. And I was like, oh, I have some local competition. And we met at a neighborhood. They did like a little neighborhood market. I think it was summer. It was hot. And it was like a 4th of July market. And I bought earrings from Jada, and she bought, I think, a t-shirt for me. And we kind of just said, hey, thanks, great to meet you, and on our way. And then Jada reached out because one of her customers needed a custom tumbler, or something that I made, and she didn't have access to it. So she's like, hey, can you make this for me? I was like, sure. So I made it for her. And then I said, well, where did you get that shirt that you had on the other day or whatever? And she said, I sell those as well. I said, I need several of those blank t-shirts. So I bought from her, she bought from me. And then we were meeting up sometime, and it was a weekend, and I was like, hey, I can't meet till after this time because I'm doing a workout group in the morning. And she said, oh, I've been meaning to get into a workout group, back into it. And I was like, you should join us. So she did. And we became really good friends. And then we started partnering on projects together for the workout group. And then we decided we could take this even bigger. And she had her own clothing boutique as well. And so we decided to join forces and go bigger and go corporate and for selling. And so then we created our 2 divisions of the company. I am in charge of small businesses, SMBs. I'm sorry, that is the same thing. Startups, anything, schools, just smaller. And then Jada heads up our big corporate energy, construction, oil and gas. And so we have a workwear line that Jada manages. I can let her talk more about that. And then I am more of the promotionals, the t-shirts and the wearables. So we partner on a lot of things together. So we both, help each other out. But yeah, we've got a lot of strengths that complement each other. So it worked out really well.
That's fantastic. Jada. And Jada, give me a little bit about your background. I mean, we got kind of the whole story from Venessa, but where did you come from, and what led you into promotional products?
Sure. So my background was primarily sales. So prior to starting my own business, as Venessa briefly touched on, before we partnered up together, I had been in hospitality industry. So I, started managing restaurants and eventually went to work for Sysco Food Services, where I did corporate sales in the merchandising department there. It's actually what brought us to Texas. So when we moved here, I'd worked for them for 5 years, and then COVID happened and my position was eliminated. And so I started my own business. Kind of Vanessa described that, I did t-shirts and more for direct to consumer instead of businesses. And then we met and decided to really niche down and work with other businesses to help them brand themselves. So I do a lot with the oil and gas, energy, and construction, as Venessa mentioned, and we have a complete workwear program. So we do high visibility safety gear. We do flame resistant clothing, basically hard hat to boots. We can take care of it for you. And yeah, and so we've really enjoyed working with each other. Like she said, we're kind of yin and yang to each other, and it's been a great partnership. Almost coming up on a year very soon. So
well, congratulations. That's not a lot of partnerships last that long. So that's fantastic. And I will say, if you ever meet these 2 lovely ladies out and about and they're attending an event, you guys are always like, right on brand. I mean, you're wearing matching outfits with bright jackets, and I mean, there's no missing you guys in a crowd at all.
Yeah, we actually do plan it. When people say, "Did you plan it?" Yes, we planned it.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what is it on promotional products? What do most people think about, and what most people don't think about when it comes to promotional products? Where does the disconnect? Like, because I mean, some people, they think of, okay, that's bags, that's t-shirts, that's koozies. But maybe what and Jada, you mentioned the branding, especially with the the field workers in oil and gas and LNG and those guys. But where do people really not think about stuff that they really should be thinking about those kind of products?
I mean, kind of where we step in to help is, making sure that they have their own brand defined, right? Who is their target audience? What are they trying to do with the promotional products that they're talking about? And specifically, as you talked about, people out in the field, if they're out there working with subcontractors, you can clearly see who works for the company. It creates a sense of unity with your employees. There's a lot of benefits to it that people don't think about. And part of the services that we provide is to help educate them on what their brand is, what they're looking to do with it, and help promote themselves as best as possible with what they have.
Great. Venessa, you got anything to add to that, or is there?
No, Jada covered it beautifully. And also, just with the education side, is also educate them on thinking outside the box with their branding, like not necessarily just the pens, the koozies, the squishy balls. You know, we really try to suggest to our customers to brand and purchase things that somebody's going to use, that their end user is going to use, and not just one time and it breaks and you throw it away, or look at it and be like, I'm never going to use this. So we really try to promote useful things, you know, socks, phone cables. We found these really cool, like little light rings. So just for your computer, or your phone, so you can have better lighting. So just different things. So we help educate kind of what the trends are as well.
Yeah, that's, shopping sounds like a big part of your job.
Yes, my favorite.
And we are in the key shopping season, it seems like. So, oh, that's great. Well, hey, if you're just joining us and you found us on LinkedIn and whatnot, go ahead and pop into the comments. We'd love to hear from you guys. I'm Douglas Burns, founder of D&B Productions. I'm a huge, humongous, big, me, myself, and I, corporate photography firm. But I love getting on and talking with other entrepreneurs and talking about marketing and business and growing business about that. So that's why I've asked Venessa and Jada to join me today. They're the co-founders of Houston Apparel Company. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. So feel free to pop them in the comments, or you can DM me on LinkedIn. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys and hear what you guys, what burning questions you have for us. You guys are both moms, right? I mean, you're young families, and having young families is difficult enough. Building a business is difficult enough. Now you're combining the two. And how and you guys are always talking about on LinkedIn about being mompreneurs. I love that. I mean, we're going to coin a new phrase, the mompreneur. How do you juggle that? How do you juggle time for your kids and the challenges of building and growing a startup business?
What does Jada say? A lot of coffee.
A lot of late nights.
Hopes and prayers and coffee. Pray that we're not dropping the ball somewhere.
They help you out.
So what's nice about having two of us is inevitably a ball gets dropped, right? And the other one is always there to pick it up and kind of keep it rolling, or at least pick it up off the ground. Once it's hit the ground and splat, when the other one kind of picks it up and is like, it's okay, we're going to fail together. We got this, clean it up and throw it back in the air. So I that's the one thing I really appreciate is having a partner, because as a mompreneur and trying to do it solo, I think it would be almost impossible. I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of women who have done it, and that's great. But for me and my style, I need a partner. And I really love having Jada by my side. And so it's nice because we both understand we have activities, we have doctor's appointments, we have all the things, early dismissals, and like literally Jada and I take my daughter to school every morning when we have an event, and we drop her off together, and then we head to our event because it's on the way. So we kill two birds with one stone, and nobody else would understand that except another fellow mompreneur, that, hey, this is how it's got to work. And so that, and just supporting households and children that are very supportive as well, and understand, like, okay, Mom, are we taking Miss Jada today? And so I'm like, yep, we're taking Miss Jada today. So sometimes we'll sugarcoat it with a stop at Starbucks, but we have kids that are good sports. And then
you can't sit in the front seat.
Yeah. Jada takes the front seat. So, but yeah, just, that's literally the life of a mompreneur. And then Jada has told me she's been working in the parking lot while her kids have been in practice, and she's watching them, and she's over here like, I'm on my computer watching the kids working, so I'll let her tell her stories, but she's a real hustler.
So Vanessa's children, this wasn't too terribly long ago, where a client approached us, and we had basically asked us to pull off a miracle. And honestly, we couldn't have done it without our supporting families and children. Like Vanessa's daughter was right in there, like helping us pull off this incredibly impossible task. And so it's times like that where we look at each other and we're like, wow, like we couldn't have done this on our own. Like, this is incredible. Thank goodness for you. And it's all going to work out. But, you tell people that and they're like, what, your kids? Like, aren't you afraid they're going to mess something up? And I'm like, nope, they learn on the fly, just like we do. So yeah, we have lots of fun and lots of stories.
Yeah, we got lots of stories. And don't worry, we paid her in Starbucks, but we paid her.
Well, look, those are important life lessons, How old are your kids real quick?
My daughter is almost 13 this month, and my son is 9.
Okay.
My son will be turning 11 on Wednesday, and my daughter is 8.
Okay, well then these are perfect ages, get them working, say, hey, this is what life is, and and you do a job and you do it well and you get paid for it, and I think this is great.
Honestly,
that you're showing these kids that what it's like, that this is how the world works, and what it looks like to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, they see their moms working hard and they're very supportive. And then the nice part about having our kids being so close in age is we can get together and work, and they can hang out and play and do something. Like, they kind of entertain each other, especially during the summer when we're trying to entertain them while get our jobs done. Luckily, Jada has a beautiful pool and backyard, so we go over there and the kids go swimming, and we're just in the kitchen working. I mean, sometimes I look back at our day and I'm like, that was an interesting day, but I mean, it gets done. So.
Well, that's the important part. The client gets taken care of, the kids are happy, and you get to move forward. That is how life kind of works, right?
Yeah. A lot of creativity on our parts, right, Jada? We just get creative.
Yes.
Throw snacks at them, make sure they're still alive.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about business, because since y'all are in the brand industry, I mean, marketing is a big part of what you do, not just for your own business, but trying to market out to get other companies to help them with their marketing. I think what a lot of entrepreneurs misunderstand is what a brand really is. So let's start there. When you're working with someone and you're helping them to build their brand out and make sure that they're working on getting their brand information out, let's define what that looks like. What is a brand?
So I can't remember who told us this, Venessa, but it's like probably the best advice that I've ever heard when someone is trying to brand something is basically you need to be able to explain to a first grader what you do, right? And very succinctly, like, does the logo match what you're doing? So it's all taking it very back to basics and breaking it down to, is your brand, how you're putting yourself out there, your logo, your presentation, can you explain it to a first grader really fast and they can understand what you do? So that has been a great explanation for me too, because a lot of times we tend to overcomplicate things, and I myself am guilty of that too. And just remembering to keep it simple and identifying who you're, what you do and who you want to work with, really.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's keeping it simple. When you get too complicated, it gets too complicated, and it's hard to promote it and to market it and to stay on brand when you get too complicated. So yes, I don't remember who told us that either. That was great advice.
Yes, it was.
I've always been told that, it's more than just a logo, right? The logo is a part of it. It's an element of it, but the brand itself is how your market perceives you, right? So it's what others think and say about what it is who you are and what you do.
Your perception to others. Exactly right.
Yeah.
So
we do.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so
no,
how do you help your clients there bring what they're hoping people say about them? How do you bring it back to help them, get their information out with your services?
So part of our offerings too is if someone needs help with their brand, if they have an existing idea or that they need, and Venessa is the master at this with her marketing background. If someone's brand isn't saying what it needs to say about them, that is a service that we offer, that we can help them really identify what they need to change with their brand so they're showing up to their ideal clients the way that they want to. And, a lot of times it could be just a simple tweak, but Venessa is amazing at taking those brands and creating standards and kits and trying to keep everything in line to help make sure the messaging is the same every time. Consistency is a part too that's huge when you're talking about brand.
Yeah, when we work with a client and they just send us a screenshot of their logo and they're like, hey, this is what I want on everything. We're like, you're going to need to send us actual logos and your style guide and your brand kit so that way we can stay on style, stay on brand, and make sure we're using it correctly. And 9 times out of 10, people are very confused by what we're talking about and they don't know what we are talking about. And so we will go in and help them and either create it with them, help them, or figure out maybe they do have it, they just haven't been using it. And so, like Jada said, we're pretty good about making sure we educate them and then stay on their brand guide.
Do you help them if someone doesn't necessarily, maybe they're a smaller outfit, they're just getting started? Do you help them define what that brand guide is and what should be included in that? Or
yeah, we can. That's one of the services that we offer is branding, a whole brand kit.
Yeah. So how does the process work when you start working with a new client? What does that look like?
So we basically like to do.
Well, we always.
I'm sorry, there's a delay.
Go for it. Nope, you go for it.
No, I was just going to say, we try to set up like a 15-minute discovery call, just see what their need is, what their timeline is, what their budget is. And if they know what they're looking for, most of the time they have an idea, like I need a jacket or I need a tumbler, or I'm going to an event and I need everything from the display to the tablecloths, to the pens, to the lanyards, and the employee gifts and all the things. So we just kind of let them brain dump on us and kind of tell us everything they need and we'll ask them over questions. And then we set up a presentation. We'd send them a link with all of the items that they requested. We'll brand everything for them with their logo, like kind of mock it up. And then with all the pricing and the details about it, and then they can go in and make comments or can approve an item. And then once it's ready to go, we'll create the invoice, send that over, and everything starts moving. Then they get approves for the mock-ups, and then stuff starts moving. It is a process. Some people think they could, call us on Monday and need something done by Friday, but it does take some time. And with working with multiple customers, it does take more than a week to get branded material done. So, but yeah, it starts with a call and it's very personal, a lot of touch points. We're in constant communication with our customers.
And what kind of items are you working with for? That's a bad question. Let me try this again, because obviously that's going to depend on the client and who they're trying to reach out to. But what are the areas and where you're spending a lot of time with? Jada, you had mentioned uniforms and hard hats and PPE and whatnot. For mainly oil and gas, but service sector type organizations. But what are some of the key areas that y'all are really targeting out there?
Well, I can take the uniforms for basically what a lot of what I do. It's like fit, form, and function. There's a lot of things that, especially when you're talking about safety gear that is regulated by OSHA, or do we have the right product for the right environment for the customer? Does the customer have the right variety of options for male and females in the uniforms. So there's a lot of education that happens, but it first starts with just understanding what they currently have, what they're using, making sure that they're using what they need to be using. We've had a situation with a client where we, after further investigation, discovered that they were just using a plain coverall without any flame resistant fabric to it, and they probably should have been, because they were working with mechanics, right? They were working on engines and large pieces of equipment. So just by really having that touch point with the customer, as Venessa described, making sure that we know their business, right? We want to get to know them personally. We want to be that part of their business that helps them grow. And so making sure that we know what is happening, how we can help, and how we definitely can add value to that. And for right now too, with oil and gas, it's just making sure there's a lot of new advancements that are coming out, and keeping everyone informed of the new technologies that are coming out, and bringing that to our clients' attention so that they're always have the newest and greatest in safety apparel.
Yes, and Jada is excellent at all of the OSHA guidelines, all of the construction guidelines. And when we first started this, she was talking about ANSI 107, and I'm like, what is that? And she knew all about the colors. She knew about the types of tape, reflective tape, that they have to have on their high visibility within when they're on a street with a certain speed limit. I didn't know any of that kind of stuff. And with Jada's background in construction, she's really brought that expertise to the table. And then we also know several Houston area manufacturers that also have expertise on staff that know all of that kind of those regulations and safety guidelines. And so we're able to really make sure our customers are safe. So that's one of Jada's major strong points that I appreciate that she helps me with, because I'm like, ANSI 107, is that like just a neon color?
So that fire ant hill. No.
Right, exactly. It's like ANSI,
Right.
like seriously.
Hey, well, guys, if you're out there on LinkedIn and you're listening, we'd love to hear from you. You can just pop into the comments section and let us know what we want to hear. We want to know what's going on. What questions you guys have for Jada and Venessa, the co-founders of the Houston Apparel Company. You do custom branded apparel, promotional products. What other areas? Because it's really about showcasing the company brand and building team cohesion, right, with you guys, in addition to the safety and everything else that goes along with it. Mm-hmm. Getting a lot of head nods.
Absolutely. So Venessa kind of talked on.
Yeah, I was just waiting to see. There's a delay. I don't want to speak and then Jada starts talking.
Oh, gosh, I know. Well, I was going to say maybe that you wanted to talk about the event marketing, because you've worked with a lot of clients recently on that. And that is it's a big part of growing and scaling a company, right? Putting yourselves out there to your ideal client.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said earlier, we've had people that have needed us to staff an entire booth at a trade show or at an employee event. And we had somebody who, again, needed a miracle pulled off, I think we got maybe 2 weeks of lead time, maybe almost 3. She needed a big backlit display, tablecloths, like 12 pull-up banner stands, along with all of the promotional material that she was going to be handing out, and then employee recognition awards. So we can do basically full service for your event marketing, your trade show, and we can ship all that stuff to whatever location in the United States. And if you're international, we'll figure it out. But that's what we do. We learn on the fly.
Do you design the pop-ups themselves and the backdrops, or are you relying on the clients to send you the artwork and say, okay, we can put this artwork on this product?
Yes. So if the client has the artwork, it's quicker, right? We can get it up there. But if they do need some graphic art and some creativity done, that's another service that we are able to offer, and we can work with them on creating that backdrop for them. As a matter of fact, the same customer I was talking about, they were having some discussions about what to put on their tablecloth, and they couldn't really decide what design to put on the tablecloth, and it was taking a while. So I just suggested, why don't we just, pure and simple, just put your logo on it and quit trying to make it so difficult, because they were trying to put a tagline and all the things on it. I was like, just put your logo on it and let's just see. I think that would work. And then we suggested that, and her team loved it. And we were able to do 4 tablecloths for them with their logo because they could reuse it. So we're very involved with our customers and to help them make their decisions as well.
It's been my experience that simple is often better.
Mm-hmm.
I think as entrepreneurs, we tend to overcomplicate things a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And I know I'm guilty of it too. I mean, if you want to look at my website, and it's like, even though I've been refocusing it and whatnot, it's still it's this monster that just keeps growing. And it's like, well, what do you do? I'm a corporate and commercial photographer. That should be fairly straightforward. But but you keep yourself simple, right? That is often harder to do that, to keep it simple. And Jada, you mentioned earlier, simple enough that a first grader can understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to someone who's maybe got a small team? Maybe they don't have a huge team, but they got a small team. What advice would you give them as they're building out their brand and trying to get their brand out in the marketplace?
I would say, when you're working with a small, I know I'm waiting on you, you're waiting on me.
I love it.
Me.
Sorry, Douglas, we don't ever take ourselves too seriously. We're just going to be like, neither do I. This is about as serious as I get. I would say, for someone with a small team, to make the most of your budget, get quality products. Even if you get less of them, buy things that people are going to use, that are practical, that they're going to keep around, that if it's a piece of apparel that they love to wear because of how it feels, you're going to get far more bang for your buck as far as your promotional dollars are concerned in marketing your business if you don't spend it on things that are not well made, well thought out, and practical, is our experience, especially for businesses.
Yeah, because how many squishy balls does one person need on their desktop, right? I mean, I can see one, but we need other things that they're going to use, like a desktop phone charger, multi-gadget charger. It could do your AirPods, your Apple Watch, and your iPhone, or your Samsung smartwatch, your Samsung phone, and your Samsung AirPods, or whatever they're called. But and like Jada said, they're not the cheapest, but invest in that and it's going to go a long way. Your employees are going to feel valued, appreciated, and they're going to continue to use your product long after they've left your company. And they're still going to have, the warm sentiment of this gift that they received from you. So another thing is just even more practical is funny. Is it something I have that I still use that my husband got years ago? I forgot how many years ago. Maybe 15, a pizza cutter. There's the most random gift promotional, but in his new hire packet, they had all these practical household things to use, like a pizza cutter, a wine opener, a cheese board. It was interesting because you wouldn't really think to buy those things for promotionals, but those are things that continue to be used long after you've left the company. Honestly, with that cheese board, I just turn it upside down so you can't see the logo, and I use the backside. But I still have it, and it's from a company 15 years ago. The pizza cutter, I wish I had it with me. It's completely, the logo almost faded. I mean, it's still there, but we use it, and I could go buy a really cute, nice, fancy pizza cutter, but we just use this other one. So the functional
there, it's in the drawer.
Yeah, so it brings back fun memories, and it kind of makes me chuckle every time we use it. I'm like, when are we going to get rid of this thing and get a new one? But it's still sharp. It's still good to go. So anyways, but practical things that people are going to use and not throw away within, a month, a couple weeks, a month later.
Well, so that brings me up to my next question, because springtime, it will be here. I mean, Christmas is like, God, Christmas is
It's gone, strictly gone.
Yeah. I mean, but I mean, springtime is coming up, and event season's coming up, trade shows, conferences, and whatnot. And folks, if you're out there and you're getting ready for those conferences, I want to talk to you too, because I've got to. Let me tell you. If you can give away headshots at a trade show, you can fill your marketing funnel like you wouldn't believe. And I'd love to chat with you about that. But you guys also, that's busy season for y'all. Getting ready, helping everybody get ready for those trade shows. You'd mentioned it several times already on the various things that you can do. I got to ask, what are the trends out there that you guys are seeing and getting ready for trade shows? And then the follow-up question to that is, what's the most unique item that people are not thinking about yet? Or maybe
I don't know. So for unique item, since we're fresh off a trade show last week, we did see these super cool, I don't know if they're like pressed seeds. And basically what it is you can use it as an air freshener. So it was made out of basil seeds or night blooming jasmine or something like that. And then after you're done, it doesn't smell anymore. You can plant it and it grows a plant. And I was just mind blown by this simple little giveaway, right? But I was like, oh my gosh, everyone is there you go. And we hadn't seen anything like that yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. It has two purposes, right? It's going to keep on giving long after the trade show. You've got two different uses for it. So just simple things like that. And just kind of, it goes back to us understanding, your trade show. Who is your audience? What kind of trade show is it? Are you trying to give a small swag pieces like that to everyone? Are you trying to really get a less nicer gifts to those that you actually, pull in and have a client meeting with at those expos? So all important questions to be asking to understand what clients are doing. I'm trying to think, Venessa, what's some of the other really cool stuff that we saw recently?
Yeah. So what I noticed is conversation starters. So you put something on your table that nobody has any idea what it is. So that's exactly what happened. Is we walked by these clear silicone little balls, and it had a hole at the top. And I'm walking by and I'm like, I've seen, stress balls, but this doesn't look like a stress ball. So I went and I picked it up and I'm like, what is this? And clearly I'm not a whiskey drinker because it's a whiskey ice mold. So it's the silicone ball and it has a hole at the top and it comes apart, but you fill it up in the hole and then you put it in the freezer. There's no spillage, and then it freezes, and then you open the mold and you take it out. It's a giant sphere for your whiskey. Mm-hmm. And so I was highly impressed by just the idea that it was a conversation starter, right? Because had I been, somebody interested in their business, I mean, I was, but really I was more interested in what they were giving away. I was like, what is this? Then we would.
Did the ice mold have the logo on the ice ball, or was it just on the outside of the mold?
Just on the outside. They do make some that you can brand the ice mold, and those are a little bit more higher cost. But these were, like the air fresheners, cost effective to where you could hand them out to anybody that walked by. And so we chatted about them, and then I told them, what I do. We exchanged contact information. He's like, I'm actually looking for more stuff, like different ideas. So hopefully that's a connection that we made just based on this ice mold that I honestly had no idea what it was. But I think if you put stuff on your table that's different, or people need to ask questions about it before they decide if they want to pick it up, that's good for marketing and talking, and then bringing in your business and kind of like changing the conversation from swag to whatever you're selling. And then lastly, another thing, apparently everybody likes to drink. There were flasks. Some really cool, like branded metal flasks. And everybody I saw was carrying this flask around. And I was like, we have to go find the flask table and see what they're doing. So that was fun. So yeah, we go around to these little trade shows and we meet people, but then it's also really great to see what's trending and what's new, what's different, and what we can help our customers get. And really quick, one thing I did also notice at several other trade shows we picked up was a speaker. A lot of people like to give away the JBL speakers, which are really great. This one just so happened to be an off-brand speaker. So we've done the JBLs, we sold those to customers, and I'm big on the JBL brand. It's a great brand. People are going to use it. I said, well, let me pick up this off brand and see what it sounds like. And I used it the other day for one of my workout groups because I couldn't find my regular JBL. And people were like, what's with the speaker? Why does it sound so funny? And I was like, okay, noted. This speaker is not one that we're going to promote to our customers. We're going to go with JBL all the way. So like
quality material all the time.
Exactly. So, I mean, I have it as a backup, but I'll honestly probably never use it. But I mean, that's the thing. You have to use stuff, get stuff people are going to use.
Right. What kind of timing would be looking at? You mentioned earlier that, some people have an unrealistic time. Oh yeah, I need this by Friday, and they're talking to you, early in the week. And I get it. I mean, that would be highly unrealistic. But what is a realistic timeline that people, if they got a show in, say, March, that they need to get ready for, when? Obviously, y'all wouldn't be talking to them now, but what's a realistic timetable?
I think.
Jada?
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, for some of the larger trade show items, like some of the lit backdrops that we've done and found, the really, really nice, high quality, easy to use, set up and break down ones, you want to give us at least 4 to 6 weeks to make sure that we have everything for you. And part of, I don't know if we touched on this yet either, but when we have those large clients that are doing trade shows, we can definitely, I guess, what's the best word for it? Kind of intake all the materials and make sure that everything is together and ship it together as part of, the services that we offer. Like, hey, we're going to make sure that we have everything for you. It's going to come to us. We're going to check it. We're going to package it, and we're going to ship it. So you don't have to worry about, did everything come on time? Where is my backdrop? Where is this piece of, promotional item that I talked about? So the more time that we have, honestly, 4 to 6 weeks would be great. I mean, we've been known to make things happen much faster if we can. But yeah, at least 4 weeks would be great to be able to really provide the best options, the best value, and make sure everything is absolutely perfect and the least amount of stress on our clients as possible when they're going to these large events.
Yes, exactly. We like to treat our clients like they're our only client, but the reality is we've got multiple clients wanting the same thing in the same quick turnaround. So it's nice if we can have a little extra time to spend with you and pre-plan and get everything ready to go.
So 6 weeks is I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, because there's a lot of planning and preparation, and you got probably dealing with multiple vendors per client that you're working with, and to try to get everything packaged and ready to go out at the same time. So I've got your information up here on the screen. If anybody wants to reach out to Jada and Venessa here at Houston Apparel Company, be sure to reach out to them. And I know these lovely ladies. They're wonderful. They'll definitely take care of you guys. And want to make sure that give them an opportunity to serve you and your company and help you out. You work with guys, obviously Houston by definition, locally, but you work with national brands too, right? I mean, someone's in New York or Denver or Montana or and you said, and what you'll figure out the international stuff if someone's
we are.
Calgary.
Yeah,
or...
we actually have a client in Qatar right now that we're doing 200 polos for. So we're working internationally. It's our first one, but we're very excited. And yeah, it's just, if we have the time to be able to make to work out through the logistical pieces of it, right? But yeah, we can help anybody. We can ship it to you. We can help you.
That extra level of attention, just maybe just. We pop on a plane, we go,
Right. I'm like, I've never been. Let's go to Qatar.
Hand deliver these to Qatar.
Yes, we do love to hand deliver if you're local in Houston.
Yes. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, anything else that we've not touched on that people need to know about branding their own company, about how they can work with people in the promotional product industry, with you guys specifically, What have we missed out on? What have we not talked about?
I think we've worked with a lot of clients that, trying to do all of this themselves it can be a challenge, specifically if they're a small business owner too, right? So let the experts help you. This is what we do day in and day out. So if you have just questions, if you have a certain amount of budget, like just tell us up front and we can definitely make things happen for you. But it's a lot of work as we've learning this business, almost a year in. So, that's what we do as part of our white glove service is to be involved as much as you want us to be and make it as easy as possible for the client.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vanessa, anything to add?
No, and as Jada mentioned, we're a full service, so we will do everything for you, be as involved as you need us to be. If you don't have a marketing department or, somebody in your company that can handle all of this stuff for you, we can definitely do that. So, small startups with a CEO who's doing everything, all they have to do is reach out to us and be like, hey, I need some stuff for this event. I have no idea what I need. Here's my budget. Here's my timeline. Go. And we can just put together a presentation for them. To all they have to do is pick through the things they like, and we can take it from there. So very hands-on to help out, especially those small businesses or those busy executives that don't have time to deal with it.
Fantastic. Well, as we wrap things up, guys, I want to say thank you to Venessa and Jada for joining me today. This has been Framing Perspectives. That's my information. If you'd like to reach out and talk to me, I'd love to help you with your commercial photography needs. Jada and Venessa would love to help you with your branding, your promotional products, your uniforms for your staff, and keeping them safe and visible along the same lines, because Jada is the absolute queen when it comes to that stuff. As we're wrapping it up, guys, any messages, any thoughts? We got the holidays literally right around the corner. Any big plans? What's going on?
Yeah, we're just we're trying to make sure that all of our clients are taken care of, that our clients are taking care of their clients right now, and then helping folks get ready for the new year. And I think we're the same, right? We're just trying to make sure that we put a bow on everything for our own business, and that we're looking forward to having an amazing 2025.
Absolutely. Yeah. Said it perfectly.
Well, guys, I'm going to wish you both and your families the very merriest of Christmases and the happiest of holidays. And to everyone who's out there watching, thank you so much. I'll apologize again for the hiccups at the beginning. First time we've done a video version of this podcast, so we're still playing with some of the new technology. This will be should be recorded, and we'll make sure that link is available out there. So if you missed us live, be sure to reach out. Again, my name is Douglas Burns, and wishing you all of the very happiest of holidays. We'll see you all again after the first of the year. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank
Douglas.
you.
Bye.